Hi, Adam.
Hello.
There you are.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, finally. How are you?
Well, it's pretty hot in here. Maybe nothing in
India.
comparison to India, but but still I feel like Renton from Train Spotting on my t-shirt.
Are you back from your vacation?
Yep. Yeah, I'm back home and yeah, waiting for autumn sessions,
I,
etc.
I, I can
How are
hear
you?
that. I can hear that. I'm back from my whole holiday now. Yeah, let's see.
How are
But we
you? Yeah, yeah.
very good. It's been roller coaster. The
Hmm.
film festival is keeping us at the tip, going pretty good, I would say, by my understanding of it. Really engaging. We have lovely people. We're doing like 2 to 3 conversations every day. So it's
Hmm.
just that getting to know the stuff deeper, better, and the
So
fact that we're doing it
how is your
together.
voice? How is your throat and your voice after all these meetings? Are you
See?
still
Hear
okay?
it?
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Warm water. Just keeps it
That's
going.
crucial.
Yeah, that's what I'm on. Hi everybody. This is the session that I am seriously most excited about.
Oh,
You have to trust me because I haven't ever interacted to somebody at Adam's level. So, Adam, this is going to be a lot of Q&A for you.
okay. Let's try. I wouldn't exaggerate with this level, but okay. Let's stick to this. I'm flattered. So
No,
very
of
nice
course.
of
I
you.
mean, you be flattered enough, but really like the kind of position that you hold. Anyway, so we'll get to that. So should we are at 33. Okay. So we'll go and we'll have other people join in as we move. Um, so everybody, like I said, this is one of the sessions that I've been really hoping that it happens and it comes true because Adam is here. Adam is director of Doc Lab Poland, Doc Development. He's also the president of Fund Film Poland. So what we are going to hear from him is is about documentaries, is about what works, what doesn't work from his understanding, from the place that he looks at everything. We're going to hear about pitching. We're going to hear about what happens at Doc Lab Poland. It's a fantastic organization that most of us don't even know about outside, just because it's in Poland, we probably would have not really engaged with it. At least I haven't seen many people in my network really sort of engage with it. But it's a fantastic organization and it's a dream organization for anybody working in documentaries to have that. So I'm going to request Adam to take us deep down into Doc Lab as much as he can. And that's what the opportunity is, not to read it from the website, but hear it from the man himself.
Okay.
I've set it up, Adam.
Okay. Let's say I'm ready for this. Let's say it. I can,
Awesome.
I can
So,
so I can.
welcome.
Yeah.
Formally welcome to Malhar Film Festival, Adam.
Thank you.
And like we said, please help us understand a little bit more about you. Who are you? What do you do? What's Doc Lab doing? How can we learn
Sure.
from what you already know?
Okay, so maybe first about myself, because the title of this discussions is what they don't teach you in the film school. I never finished a film school. I had a different education, but I worked in a film school in a private film school for 15 years, and I was coordinating the documentary program there, and that's where I learned everything. Maybe not everything, because my father was a filmmaker, and he was a quite successful documentary filmmaker. So my
Oh,
foundation is named after him. the Władysław Ślesicki Film Foundation. This is the full name, and this is it was made to commemorate him.
Mm-hmm.
But that was years ago, and he's not with us for over 10 years. But he taught me some things. But then I had the possibility and the privilege to work with the best Polish documentary filmmakers, Marcel Łoziński, Jacek Wławód, in this film school, which was the Andrzej Wajda Film School.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 years ago, me and my wife decided to set up our own company, our own foundation, and do what we do by ourselves. So I may tell you, and we are both very much into documentary, mostly in the creative documentary.
Mm-hmm.
In the documentary that should belong to the cinemas, not to television.
Wow.
Which are not just talking heads, but where the cinematography is also very important. The sound is very important, and mostly the projects in films that we focus on are the character-driven films, but we also do some because we also produce films, and we deal with the archive films, etc. There are many types of documentary, and we just try to help mostly young filmmakers, or sometimes they are not young, but they are debuting
Right.
filmmakers. So we try to help them. With our organization and with our programs. So I can maybe I can tell you about the foundation and the DocLab Poland.
Yes.
You said very nice words about it, and it's yes, I'm proud of it because it is the biggest in Poland program. I mean, it consists of many programs, but our main program is DocLab Poland. I have the short presentation here. I don't know if maybe I will share it with you.
Yeah, just check if
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So let's. Okay. So as you can see, it's DocLab Poland and more.
I like that.
And yeah, you will see that there is some more apart from this. Okay, but DocLab Poland. DocLab Poland was created 8 years ago, and it's meant to be the support for Polish or Poland-based projects. So that's why it's not so worldwide, recognized. But we decided that the Polish market of documentaries is big enough to focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to make a year-long program just for them, for projects in two stages, in the development stage and in the editing phase.
Okay.
And both of these components are for film directors and film producers. So the teams apply to DocLab Poland, and we have around 12-14 participating projects in the development component, which is called Start, and 10 up to 12 projects in editing component, which is called Go. Of course, we invite top Polish and foreign experts, and it is mostly based on discussions, on open discussions with the participants, but also with among them. So it's not a set of lectures, but a set of of discussions, and we focus on the projects themselves, on what works and what doesn't work in each one of them. Where should we put some more stress? Are the protagonists good, or should we look for other ones, or is the plot understandable? And in the Go section, we focus on editing, how to edit the film to present what we really want in our films. But we also talk about trailers, how to make a good trailer for a film. We have experts talking about financing strategies, and where simply where to get money for your film, because for many years documentary was treated like kind of expensive hobby, and we fight with this approach, because it is the filmmaking and it's simply a job. So we fight with this approach that, oh yeah, documentary is something for the television, you can make it in 2 weeks or 2 months. No, we have projects that are being made during 5 years.
Wow.
And so like the fiction, which are feature length, and so these are the projects that you need to finance somehow.
Wow.
And then you have to distribute it. So we also talk about distributions strategies, the festival strategies, and how to present them. So about promotion materials and about pitchings, of course, which is our topic today.
Yeah.
We've had 8 editions since 2015, and so far we had over 180 projects, as you can see, and over 350 participants. And out of this number, the 180 projects, over 80 have been completed so far and presented worldwide, and altogether they won. I counted it, but I did it like 2 months ago, so
wow,
it might have changed.
Oh.
They won over 260 awards. So that's what makes me proud, really, because we are not producing these films; they are their own films, but we feel like adding a brick to this building somehow. And I think that the people that come to us, they can really feel it, that we just want to help them, and they are, at least in my opinion, they are quite happy with this what we do.
My God, look at the numbers.
Yeah, numbers, figures always say something, right?
Absolutely. Like, I mean, look at this: 180 projects, 260 awards. So the awards are more than the total number of projects. So each film has got more than one.
But there are so many festivals, film festivals, that is, around the world, that's you can really win something somewhere.
Well, okay. I mean, the work needs to be good. You don't win anything without that.
No, that's a joke, of course, because there are so many documentaries being made that it's quite difficult to make your film, but it's also quite difficult to present it to the audience. So we focus very much also on this aspect.
Brilliant, Adam. This is
so each edition consists of 3 workshops in spring, in the beginning of summer, and in autumn, and it's both for both components. So we have 3 workshops for the start section and 3 workshops for Go section. And the most important events are pitchings during Krakow Film Festival, which is the oldest and I think the most important, or at least one of the 2 most important documentary festivals in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
And after these pitchings, the participants have around 350 individual meetings with potential partners, with the co-producers, with the financiers, with the representatives from TVs, film institutions, sales agents, and festivals.
Wow.
Okay, so that's what it looks like. Not very impressive, maybe, but this is how the
Have you
pitch
heard of the
look.
Adam? Have you heard of the name Modesty?
Oh, well, because documentary people are maybe quite modest,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there are no red carpets mostly in
True.
documentary,
Yeah.
and there are simply good people. That's what I love the most in this
Yeah.
job, that I meet creative people and normal people. I mean, I don't want to say that fiction people are not normal. No,
Sure.
I'm far from that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, stop
Yeah.
with these jokes. So as I said, the partnership with Krakow Film Festival is quite crucial for us, but we also have the support of over 20 in film and cultural institutions in Poland,
Wow.
including the TVs like HBO or Polish National TV. We used to cooperate with them for a few years,
Mm-hmm.
and the Ministry of Culture, etc. And we also have partnership with Doc Leipzig Festival, with Czech Institute of Documentary Films, and with some other foreign institutions and festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And during the awards ceremony, the Krakow Film Festival will give awards to the projects, to the most outstanding projects, but we also treat it as a kind of help. It's not just awarding them, but it's trying to move them on. So the awards consist of the post-production services, of the rental of equipment and things like this. And as you can see, the worth of we managed to gather quite a good bunch of institutions that fund these awards, and the worth is over 25,000 euros.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that's the
A
gala.
lot of work, Adam.
I mean, that's the main the festival gala, not our gala. we just on the stage we are giving them awards. And another part of DocLab Poland is SEDOC market. SEDOC stands for Central European Documentary Co-Production Market.
Okay.
And it's the only documentary co-production market. In fact, it's the only co-production market in Poland, both fiction and documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also organized with the partnership with the Krakow Film Festival as part of their industry section.
Mm-hmm.
We invite around 30 producers each year. 1/3 from Poland, but they are different producers than participating in the pitchings.
Mm-hmm.
And since it's European, so we invite 1/3 from west of Poland and 1/3 from east of Poland, as well as experts, around 20 experts, and we just let them mingle.
Wow.
No, we just organize we schedule meetings. So we know that there are around 450 individual meetings each year.
Wow.
And this is how it looked when we were starting. So this is the first or the second edition, I think, of the market, and now it looks quite differently and bigger. And maybe that's all about DocLab Poland and SEDOC market. Apart from them, we organize 4 other programs. So I may just say that a few words about them. We organize doc development which is for film directors with the projects at the very early stage of development. And during this program, we help them. I mean, they work on their projects, but we also help them find main producers. So we also have a pitching here at the end of doc development, and there are around 30-40 producers from Poland attending, and some of the projects find producers there. So it's a good thing to connect them and to give them a kick towards the bright future.
Yeah.
We also do Impact, which is the program for producers, and sometimes we combine. We meet people from Impact and doc development to work together.
Wow.
We have program called First Film for beginners, for people who are trying to make their first film, first documentary, mostly for people who want to apply for film schools. So for 18, 19, 20 years olds.
Yeah. Wow.
And our fourth program is Doc Hot Selection, which is simply the set of screenings of the most important, the best films that went through DocLab Poland or our other programs, and we organize screenings with the participation of the creators, and we organize meetings with them after each screening. And yes, I'm again quite proud that all our programs are the biggest in total, the biggest in Poland system, as you can read here, for supporting documentary filmmakers. So this is us, me. Yeah, I look like myself and my wife. And these are our email addresses, which may be also found on our website. So feel free to contact me. And well, thank you very much. That was the presentation of what we do.
It's a lot of work for just 8 years, is what I can say. I mean, one thing it is to be a storyteller and a filmmaker, but to set up multiple organizations looking it as a countrywide impact, and to look at the filmmaker, the producer, the financer, the distributor, it has to work like that only. Of course, it can only work when everybody is empowered into it, but you have been able to do it in such great numbers.
Yeah, I always like to show the numbers.
Well, that's what puts the reality into place. Otherwise, anybody can be saying anything about it.
Yeah, I hated numbers and maths in the school.
Yeah.
I had never the idea that I end with with Excel, with budgets, with things like this. But look,
There you are.
somehow it works.
It does, absolutely, and it's brilliant, very inspiring. I think even if DocLab is only in Poland, but the things to take up again is that we all can create such entities in our own respective places. If Adam could do it with his humble resources, all it takes is a vision. That's the starting point. So
Yes.
if we really care about storytelling, then one thing is to keep looking for organizations, and the second thing is to be a part of the change making society, where we make sure that organizations like this exist, and they're able to empower storytellers to come in at every point, start to finish, and stories are the ones that bring in the change in the society. Perfect. So Adam has put in his email in a copyable format here. Please take it down, anybody who would want to. Yeah, Sarah, you've absolutely. All right. Now I have lost track of the questions after the presentation, but but I'll try to do my best. Hi Eric, hello from Mexico. Hope you are glued in now, because now we are going to hear all about pitching from Adam himself.
Just give me a second because I'm trying. While sharing the screen, I lost something. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm ready. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for
No,
for
no.
the short break. I'm ready. So how do we do this? Do
Yeah.
you have questions, or should I say something about the pitching, because this is what we really aim to? I
Yeah.
mean
I
the
think let's
pitching.
do this, Adam, because we're quite a few people here. If, like, let's not take individual questions at this point of time, because
Okay.
otherwise we will lose out on your framework, you know. So, the help that we want is the question open ended is how to pitch.
Mhm. Well, it's a
It's a very open ended question.
first of all, we can start with what the pitching is,
Hmm.
and because if you ask people, then they say, okay, yeah, pitching is just a presentation of your project, your film, whatever. You can pitch, of course, everything, and not only films, but it's not only this. I mean, just let me check on my. Okay. What is pitching? Of course, it is the verbal or audiovisual presentation of your project, whether it's film or not, but it's also the meeting with people after this. So you have to be aware of this fact that you are not pitching just to show it, but to find partners to get what you want, and these meetings after your presentation may be different. There are individual meetings, like we do this on Doppler Poland. There are round tables, experts panels, Q&A sessions, etc. But of course, it starts with the presentation itself. And you pitch to get different things. You can pitch, as we do this on doc development, to find the producer. Then so the director works on his projects and then presents it to find a producer. And after this, it's easier because there are at least two people there.
Yeah.
The director and the producer, and they may pitch to find co-producers, financing, to get the festival selection, to get distribution. But also, if you want to convince someone to let you film, or if you want to convince someone to share his story with you, it's also kind of pitching. So
Yeah.
you have to be prepared for presenting your project and short version, long version, longer version, and it's really good to just be aware of this. That's, of course, we have this well-known elevator pitch, right? When you meet Steven Spielberg or any other big fish, and you have 30 seconds to present it, and it happens because it really happens. My friends a few years ago went to Cannes, and they were not to pitch, just to watch films, and they ended up on the last day going to the airport after the heavy party on the previous evening. They ended up in the van with one of the really big producers, and
Wow.
they had like 30 minutes to spend together. And he asked them, "So what do you do, guys?" But they were so devastated after the party that they didn't use this opportunity. So be aware of this, that
Anybody
situations
can be with
like
you.
this may happen.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So having an elevator pitch is and like ready is always important, even for films.
Yes, and this is we come to the point where we have the distinction among the artificial pitching and natural pitching. So
Hmm.
what we do at Doc Lab Poland, these are artificial pitchings. So we gather people around, especially for the participants. Everyone has 7 or 8 minutes, to be on the stage. This is the artificial situation, but the elevator, van, restaurant, I don't know,
That's real. That's real.
cocktail. It's a field for natural pitchings. So you need to prepare also this short presentation that you can do during, while having drinks, and somebody asks you what are you working on, and then you can say about your first, second project in the short, not very expensive way, without the trailers or teasers, but just to say a few words about the project, because you never know what will happen. And you have also prepared different pitchings for different audiences. So
Right.
when you have and different listeners, if it's not an audience but just one man. And so depending on the people who are listening to you, you may focus on the interesting story, but also on the artistic values. If you are talking to the representatives of the non-government organizations fighting for instance, some rights, you can focus on the impact on society that your film may have. If you are talking to TV stations, you pick the project that may have a big audience, etc., etc. So there are different aspects you may focus
So,
on.
Adam, before you go forward,
Yeah.
in the elevator pitch,
Mhm.
should the call to action be a part of the pitch, or should the pitch be made independent of what you're seeking from the person that you're talking to?
I don't. Please repeat, because I don't follow.
Sure.
Uh,
I'm saying that when we are pitching to
yeah.
the other person,
Mhm.
then there is something that we want out of that, right? I
Mhm.
mean, either we want the person to finance it, either we want the person to connect us to somebody in a particular organization, or are we looking at them influencing our market or something, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
first part of the pitch, elevator, considering that it is 30 seconds, 1 minute, should the elevator pitch also include what we want out of them, or let them come back with that question?
It depends. It depends very much on the situation. If you know the person, if you know what she or he can do for you, of course you can say it. You can express it when if you know that this specific person may help you. But it's always, but on the other hand, it's always good to come back, because you must follow up. After the pitchings, after the meetings, when you get the contact, you have to follow up, because people are overwhelmed with the amount of projects. But in my opinion, it's always good to express what you need,
Right.
but not in the way that I need 100,000 euros like right now. But you can say about the situation of your project and what you are lacking, what you have and what you don't have. But I repeat, depending on the situation. If you can see that someone is on the hook, that I mean that simply your story is interesting for him or her, and then you can continue with this.
Got it.
If not, then of course don't push the limit, don't exaggerate. Just we are just simple people. Everybody wants to entertain, to of course to do business, to do art, but we don't like, nobody likes to be treated as as just the source of money of the or the source. So the financiers or the representatives of the institutions are normal people, apart from the fact that they can do something for you. All right, that was a pretty long
Got it.
answer.
No, got it. Perfect. Thank you.
But what I wanted, yeah, okay. So both artificial and natural pitching, the presentation. So let's take apart for a second the meetings after this, but this whole presentation consists of several points. Mostly people think about it as just presenting the project, whether it's good, interesting, for whom it is, etc., etc., what it is about. But it's not only this. I mean, this is the most important thing, whether we do interesting film, but it's also the presentation of the creative team, of the people who are making this. It's also the presentation of the circumstances and possibilities of the production. So whether and the perspectives of completing the film. So you must include these aspects into your pitching. Of course, you focus most on the story, on your protagonists, on the plot. But then, if someone has to enter or wants to enter, to join you, to enter your projects, he or she must know whether you are the right man to make it. So these are very important aspects of it. I may come back to this. Well, to be honest, I have another presentation here that I'm looking at to not to get lost, but so that's.
Do you want to bring it up? Do you want to share the screen?
No, because I'm just skipping some parts of
Yeah.
of it. But so you have to assure them if whether the film will be completed in order to just and you do all this, you make them interested, you assure them, you draw a picture of the production to simply to find the right partners and to get what you need. This is not just telling for telling, just telling stories, but pitching is a process that is at the end of it. There's an aim. You need something, right? So let's remember this, because it's sometimes we forget that it's just not talking. But there are also some let's call it secondary goals, apart from getting what you want. You may just want people to know about the film you are making. You are slowly building your audience, even if you don't want anything from them. You just present yourself as a film professional. And during these meetings and pitchings, you meet people that may help you in the future. So pitching is also the investment in your future. And well, maybe this is not the good thing, but I may say that if 10% of the projects that are presenting during the pitching, if 10% of them get something from this pitching, it's a really good outcome. So you need to go to different pitchings to work hard and not to be. I mean, if you fail, it's not a failure. It's just the part of the job. If you pitch and you talk to people and nothing comes out of it, then it's pretty normal, because it's the process. Okay. I just wanted to say that please interrupt me whenever you want and ask questions during this presentation. That's not to be formal. So yeah.
Absolutely. Anybody already has any question up until now? Yeah, Sarah. Go for it, Sarah. Unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, you are muted, as I can see.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for your any very useful for me, because I am a documentary filmmaker in Iran, and I wanted to ask you, when you arrange it, for example, today for going to shooting, okay, documentary, and the subject is so important for you, and you arrange it, the camera in this here, what happened, the other happened in that way, and it maybe is important for your film, and how can you arrange it? This subject is at the opposite happen, and really it's happened for me, and what you do at that time, it's the moment, because the happen is that it was happened and go on, and the documentary is just happened. I think, I don't know, the happened is the more important for the documentary film, natural or the historical, or like war. When you go to the like war, the other happened is in this here, you wanted to shooting this here, but the other happens is very good, and at that moment, what should I do?
Well, it's a good question. Yeah, sure. It's a great question, but there's no answer to this, because it depends very much on the situation. I'm not the director, and I'm not the cinematographer. So I personally was not in this position, but I believe the documentary is also needs directing. So if you set if you set it, if you organize it, you have always this this urge to follow it, but then you must believe yourself, and if this what happens there is more important, then you go for it. But there's no answer for this question. Of course, the best answer is to have two cameras, but that's but that's another thing. Yeah, and these situations happen all the time, and the other thing is that we lose some part of voice, because something doesn't work, or we have a voice recorded but we don't have the picture. Yeah, the documentary is pretty tough, but it's also in the same time challenging, and there are no simple answers. It depends on the film you are making. It depends on the on the situation. So I don't want to disappoint you, but I can't answer your
Also
question.
in documentaries, it also depends, like, the subject, but how relevant is that subject in the time that you're pitching for it. Like, if you're right now, let's say, if you're pitching for something to do with war, something to do with migration, there might be people looking out for it, that okay, because that's what's happening around the nation, but if you're looking at this topic, might get more intense in times to come, or might get off people's minds. So like, that's where I think Adam is trying to say that depends on the topic, on who you're pitching, at what point of time you're pitching, which also means that we as filmmakers also have to choose, as much as is in our control, all of these things, that considering that we all have 24 hours, who do you pitch to? Like, if who should be your lowest hanging fruits, who should be your people who you would rather spend more time, because you will have to follow up with them, and things like that. Yeah. Okay, before we move further, Adam, sorry, I just wanted to check that, I mean, after you've taken us through the pitching process, the further details, do you think we can have 7 to 8 minutes when, if people have something to pitch, they can pitch it to you and we practice that pitch?
Yeah, we can try, but I was not prepared for this,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I can't promise that I will be,
sure. Yeah.
wise
No,
enough
even I was not. I just thought about it
to
right
answer
now.
this.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, fair enough. So we'll see if it fits in the time plan, and if like anybody really
Okay.
wants to sort of try out a pitch, we can try
Mm.
that.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. Let's go ahead, Adam.
Yes. Well, so I may skip some parts of it, but
Sure.
the well. Uh, Okay, so people have the tendency to talk too much, like myself. I always talk too much, and I'm aware of it, but I am not pitching, at least. And when I am, I used to pitch myself in the past. Then I had to really be aware of this and limit myself, because during the pitching you have to make it simple. You always know your project, very well. You know everything about them, and sometimes you just feel that people understand this, and it's not true. You When watching a trailer, you don't know, and for the first time you don't know anything. You just don't know who is the protagonist, unless you said this before. So it's the same with the pitching. You must make it as simple and understandable for the people as possible, but in the same time you must provide the most important information. So that's why although your story may be amusing, full of funny situations, etc., and this is what you love the most in your project, sometimes you must get rid of this. I mean, you can keep one short funny thing and to give the example, but you have to make it simple and understandable. And for me, apart from this, for me, the very important thing is your motivation, because there are plenty of stories, plenty of films, but I'm always looking for the I'm always curious, why do the specific people make this specific film. So you have to convince me or the audience why you are the best man or woman to make it. Whether is it your personal story, or you are very connected to this, or you understand this very much because of, I don't know, of your childhood, of your family, or you are the expert in some topic, and you know more than other people. Just say it, because we live in a world with plenty of stories, with plenty of films, and there are plenty of films on the same topics, but each film is different, and you have to tell people why your different approach is important. And I will come to the motivation later, but I just wanted to underline this very much, that apart from talking about the project and about the as I said, the plot, the protagonists, you must tell also a little bit about yourself. Actually, I was not prepared for the lecture for this long presentation, so I am just skipping on my presentations, but let's just give me
Sure,
a
please.
second. Okay. Well, there's also the big question asked whether pitching is selling or telling. Is it just telling stories or selling the project? Of course, as you may imagine, from my presentation so far, I'm on this side where on the selling side. I mean, of course it's the telling of the interesting story, but pitching is to get what you need to present it in order to have the right outcome.
Right.
So you have to say it in the interesting, attractive way, but also underline the selling points. I mean, it's not only the getting money from this, but what are the strong points of your film in the story, in the plot, but also in the meaning, in what is the main idea of it. So you have to focus also on this, and your pitch should have a logical structure, not like my presentation right now, because I am jumping. This is the example of quite a bad pitch, because as I said, I was prepared more for a conversation than such a long presentation. So so this is what I'm doing, this the way it shouldn't be done. But while pitching, just try to write it down first, to pitch it to your friends, to the people who don't know the project, who don't know anything about the film, and practice with them, because it must be understandable. People who are listening to you may not be the decision makers, but they may be your advocates if they like the project, so they have to repeat it later in their institutions in order to convince their bosses to put, for instance, money in it, and so make life easier for them.
So you're saying talk about the main topic, talk about the protagonist, talk about why you are the right person to tell that particular story, right? And convince that that the way you would do the production, the timelines, the way you would do, you make it believe for the other person that it is going to be the best quality. You have thought about it, that you've thought about all those parts. Best is of course subjective, but you've thought through that. Is that correct?
Yes, I mean, there are some people, there are the 4 W's: what, where, who, why. Some say it's 5 W's, and I have like 9 of them.
Okay, what are those?
But you don't always need to say all of them. I mean, to present all of them. But there are different aspects that may be important for your presentation.
Okay.
So, of course, it's what is your documentary about?
Yeah.
Where is it going? But both the plot, your story, but also your production, because it may be different. Who? Again, both. Who is the protagonist of your film, but also who is making it?
Right.
Who is the team? Who is in your team? Why? I said about it. So you have to present your motivation, but also you need to know your protagonist's motivations. Why they do what they want to do, or they don't do, because of some reasons.
Right.
When does your story takes place, but also when does your production takes place? When will you deliver the film? What is the style, genre of the film? Of course, we are speaking about documentary here, but we have different kinds of documentaries, starting from, I don't know, social stuff, the current affairs, sports, music, etc. But also the docu-comedy, the docu-musical. My friend is making right now and my wife is producing the documentary musical, and well, the crime story. So it's good to explain the viewers what is the kind of story. It's obvious for you, but not for them. So try to think about your presentation from their perspective.
Right.
And that's why I said it's good to present it to different people who don't know your project. And of course, there are other W's, like who is paying. So what is your financial plan? Whom is this project for? I mean, the film. So what is your target audience? And you should end this with what are you looking for? So whether you are looking for money or you are looking for sales agents, because there are different situations and you should express it.
Right.
And in order to say it, you must, of course, know your project perfectly, but to be aware what people don't know. If you are pitching, for instance, with a project taking place in Poland, and you are pitching to a foreign audience, it is good to just say a few words about situation your film takes place in, because people don't know Poland at all.
Yeah.
And there were many times that it was so obvious for the filmmakers that, of course, everybody knows about, I don't know, communism in Poland, that it was from the 40s till almost the 90s. No, nobody knows it around the world. So it's good to say just one or two sentences about it. And so again, that's why it is really essential to write it down.
Yeah.
And to read it. So if you read it for the first time and you have, like, in our format, there are 8 minutes, 5 minutes for speaking, plus up to 3 minutes for the audiovisual material.
Okay.
So if you write it down and you read it, then you can see that instead of 5 minutes, you have 15. So just take out the things that are not necessary, and then you what I said before, you may resign from some wonderful stories that are not essential, and you cry, but you erase them. Like, any questions on
Yeah,
this?
yeah, lots of questions. So I'll rather have, why don't you all, the question of unmute yourself and ask your question directly. However, do you want to unmute yourself, or I should read it? I would prefer if you can unmute and speak your question, please.
Hello, can you listen to me?
Hi, yes.
Hello, greetings from Spain.
Yes, hi, how are you? Great.
I'm fine, thanks.
Hello, but I can't hear you, I'm afraid.
Yeah, can you be a little louder, Javier?
Can you listen to me now?
Slightly.
Sorry, trying to do my best. If enough, you can read my question.
It's clear now. It's quite clear. Adam, can you hear him?
Right. I just wanted to know
let's try it. I don't have the best, speakers here, but let's try it.
Sure,
Okay.
Javier, go ahead. Please ask your question.
I just wanted to know if there are any white lies during the whole process that are allowed. That means, do you recommend being completely honest during the whole pitch process, or is there something that you say, like, okay, I'm not telling the whole truth, but it's going to be good for my project? Or do you recommend being completely honest? Thank you.
That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
That's a very good question. I have it on my list. Again, I will be quite relative. It depends on what who are you talking to and what institution. But if you are presenting it to the potential co-producers, then it's absolutely not worth to lie to them, because you are trying to establish a long-term cooperation. So you shouldn't convince them that you are making a comedy while it's not really a comedy, but has just maybe some, you know, funny parts. But if you are trying to, I mean, you can focus on, as I said, you can focus on different aspects of your project when speaking to different listeners. And in this situation, you may not lie, but you just don't say about things that are that may be a little bit uncomfortable, or you are not sure about them. But it's yeah, depending on what on whom you are talking to. Because if you are talking to sales agents and you promise them one kind of a film, and you are really making another one, and you really want to have this sales agent, but in the end he doesn't get what he wanted, then you both have a problem, right? Well, we are no, okay. That was a bad example, but it's not. Of course, it's not like you just go there and you say, well, I have a protagonist, but I really don't know much about him, but I just like him, and I think he's funny and interesting, but I must admit that I really don't know him. No, that means that it's simply too early for you to pitch. But if you have to do this, then you try to present yourself and your project as good as you can. So if this is what you are asking about, then yes, of course, you may not tell all the truth and nothing but the truth. But generally, try to be honest, because it's not just one shot, but it's the part of your whole career. And if you are not telling the truth at one pitching, and even if you succeed to get money, and it happens again and again, then it's just a small market, and people know that you are not the honest filmmaker. And it's the same with generally with documentary. We try to be honest, although we direct, right? So it's not the just the pure reality and camera showing the world and nothing but this, but you choose what should be shown. So you are the director, and in this aspect you may say you are lying, because you are not showing an objective situation. You are choosing some aspects. You may provoke some actions of your protagonists if you know that it is possible for him or her to happen, but you don't have the time to wait for this. You can arrange it, and it's not lying. It's just let's say helping the reality to happen. And this is film directing, so it's not journalism. It's not just showing the situation and asking both sides about opinion.
Right.
I know films that were all set up with okay. There was the film End of Russia about the many years ago. Russia is now not the best topic, but this film is a good example. The director wanted to make a film about the border post in far east Russia, but he didn't get permission, of course, from the authorities. So he made it up. He just invited some former soldiers and gathered them together and just let them work there. I mean, not work, but let them stay there and observe them. And they were themselves. They were acting like they usually act, and it was not about the situation, but it was just about them, about the protagonists, their attitude to life, to each other, etc., etc. So the film was, let's say, fake, but in the same time was very true.
So it was like a docudrama where it is a documentary, but there was drama in it.
Yeah, I mean, the drama is crucial for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
as a
you don't.
story. As a story.
The
Yes.
story, the conflict, the obstacles. I treat documentary film like a film. I mean, I put in this documentary film, I put the film in the first place.
Yeah.
I told you about my father, that he was making documentaries in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
And I found the scripts for his films, and I even found something what today's maybe called storyboards. So can you imagine that making a documentary, you draw a storyboard with everything that is happening on the screen? He was making a film about a young guy entering the adult life in the countryside, in a small village. So that was the coming of age story, and him becoming an adult, first cigarettes, first girlfriend. He was working on, I don't know how to say it in English, but when you cut wood and you just travel with this on the river with the rafts, okay, with the wood rafts. So he entered this job, and by the way, the title is, I don't remember the English title of my father's film. Shit. Okay, but the rafts are flowing or something like this. Anyway, he had a storyboard for this. So and it's still a documentary. So
did he have actors play those?
No. The idea was that they were real people. He had to find the right protagonist, the young guy who really lived there, who was in this situation, and he knew that part of Poland because he was going there for many years on holidays or just traveling around. So he knew the situation, he knew people, and he decided just to present it in a film. But he had to direct it. He had to invent it in order to have to have dramaturgy, to have the plot, to have the story, and he couldn't wait for it. By the way, it was at that time. It was quite often that it was made this
beautiful,
this
absolutely.
way.
So he thought he made the film in his head first,
Yes.
and then went and found the real characters who would sort of display that they would be able to.
Yes, or maybe he just met his protagonist first and just knew that he is a good one, but then he had to invent everything, what the story may be. And the question was whether it was possible, whether it was not real, 100%, but if things like this happens there in that area, and the people's stories happen there, and yeah, that was 100% true for this.
That's
for
a
this
lot
society.
of work, but I mean, such a brilliant thing to do. I mean, it stands true for us even today to do that as a process. It's so good. Like, if you know your protagonist so well, or if you know your subject so well that you know that you can find that shot either ways, you've already made the film. in the head, and even if there are minor changes, but one would really know how to move around with that, because largely the film, the beginning and the middle and the end is clear for you.
Mm.
Brilliant. Adam,
Uh,
there's another, sorry, you're saying
No,
something?
no. I just wanted to give another example, but of the same thing. So maybe he was just making a film about the dog, about the dog that was walking through the city, was caught by the dog catchers, then runs away, etc. And this is the true story, but you can't direct. I mean, you can't follow the dog, so you
Right.
have to direct it, right? You have to think up all the scenes, and this is the true story about the dog, but you make it up.
Wow. That's such a
Okay,
great example. I mean, it's a character. Your protagonist is not in your control. It's an animal. You can't really like just follow and get what you want. So you need to direct it. And so what you direct has to be planned. Superb. So similar to I think what you've already addressed, but in case you have something to add, Mugus is asking what makes a good documentary and how to research about it. Maybe we can know a little more about the research, Adam. That's an open-ended thing again.
sure. Of course, there's no answer to this question, because if people knew how to make a good documentary, we would have only good documentaries, and there are so many aspects of it that you cannot answer. But the research is, of course, crucial. And the easiest answer to this is just make films about the things you know the best. Start with your family, or with your friends, or with the people you have around yourself, and that's the easiest thing. People have the tendency to to talk about big things, to have protagonists in other countries, in other reality, because it's very it's simply interesting for them. But you can, of course, you can do this if you already know how to do films. If you start, I mean, I'm not addressing this to you, but we have people coming to our programs at the beginning of their career, and we talk them, just first think about simple topics around yourself, and you may find incredible stories just in your own house, in the flat you live in your neighborhood. Then the research is much easier, of course. But again, the research is such a big topic, whether
Yeah.
whether you make a personal story or you make a historical film, that there are so different types of research. You can, for instance, you can dig through the archive materials because you are making a film about the history. So it's quite impossible to answer this question asked in such a wide way.
Yeah.
If you ask me about this, story, you present a story and you ask how to make this film, then there's a possibility
That's
to
more
talk
specific.
and to think. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess research is all about whatever helps you get your story through. As much material. Research is a phase where you put your material together, where you get clarity yourself. So, whatever material you need to tell the story, whatever it takes to put that material together is research. Okay.
Yes. The good thing maybe is when you have a protagonist and you are trying to get him or her into your movie. It's good to not just to shoot him or her from the very beginning. It's very important that they trust you, so you may simply just talk to them first without a camera. Of course, if there's a strong story behind them that can be said only once, it, and you know that you need the emotions. Then you are not asking about everything, but it's good to just know the people you are filming. And on the other hand, there's a very important thing that you are responsible for them. We are documentary filmmakers. We are not, TV stations that is stealing life from people. We are making films and are responsible for our protagonists. So it's not only the thing that they agree, they trust you, and they agree to be in your film, but you must think for them.
Yeah.
Whether the thing that you are making is okay for them in the future or not. Does this film help them, or will it destroy them?
Right.
You must be really very aware of this, even if you are making a small film that will be shown in some, not worldwide, but only in your country on festivals. It will not get to television. Then it's still on the film, and you are, if you are cruel to your protagonist, then it's a big no.
Yeah. That's a beautiful point you brought in. It's like we can't make a documentary being careless about a protagonist just because it looks like a good story. 100%, 200%. It's somebody, we're responsible. We can't make business out of somebody else's, benefiting out of somebody. So we really got to be very careful. Sometimes it happens early on. Sometimes it really happens to very experienced people also, that you just say, it's a lot of times we hear this line, it's a good story. But guys, there is a human being behind that story. So that's so beautifully brought out by Adam. All right. We are like crossing our time for what I had promised Adam. If you all have anything very critical at this point, please write in. Otherwise, I have a question about the film market from Adam, and I would go for that. So I'm asking my question. If there's something very critical, you guys send in that. So Adam, we've gone over the pitching. We understand about being careful about a subject, and then the focus points in a pitching. Now, a documentary film market is not a very organized market anywhere in the world, compared to a fiction and things like that. So film festivals become one place where the documentaries are sent, and then other production houses and channels. But since you would have a larger view, a young person who may not have a lot of network, where should they go and promote their film once they have made it?
Well, of course, I can speak for Poland and
Sure.
and maybe a little bit for Europe, because I know the situation here.
Yeah.
And are you asking about people who are in the film industry, or are you asking about the amateurs that are trying to make a first film? Amateurs in a good meaning. Amateurs
I'm talking about the amateurs, like independent people, not independent filmmakers who may have done some work in advertising or in fiction or something, but they don't really have a distributor yet for the non-fiction part. They don't know the market. They want to tell a story. They have made a film, Now, what all can they do?
Well, if they are in Poland, then I would say that they should come to me, or should come to other programs, other similar programs, because we help them know the people. Of course, you can start with your channel on YouTube or internet, and slowly, get more and more attention. But this is not what we are dealing with. We invite people and try to help them meet people in the televisions or in the institutions, and then we are building the audience from this side. I mean, if you if you have the financiers, you know, if you have financing from television, then the television will broadcast it, of course, right? Or from VOD or another you know, the institution. If you have a social issue that you care about and you are making film about this, you may approach the I don't know, foundations or the institutions that deal with the topic and try to cooperate with them. Another story is the crowdfunding. That is, it's not really only gathering money, but it's also building the audience as well. So if you are asking people to help you, then they are already interested in your film because it was made. So there are many ways, but of course we are dealing with people mostly after film schools who know the other film people, and if we deal with them, then we can present them to the market. Starting as you know, in your own home with the camera may be really difficult, but well, how to say it? Work hard.
But for like, is there a market in Poland for films outside of Poland?
Yes, of course. There are TV stations that are buying films, the licenses from abroad.
Okay.
There's we have the Film Institute that has a special program for minor co-productions.
Okay.
So for producers from abroad that get the co-producers from Poland, and these Polish co-producers can apply for money for the foreign films.
Okay.
So definitely yes.
Perfect.
And there are many Polish filmmakers that are also working abroad and are bringing stories from there, or are cooperating with non-Polish filmmakers. So it's and then they can still apply to our program because there's some Polish aspect in it.
Yeah.
So yes, the question.
I was wondering about that. That another way to work with Doc Lab could be to have a Polish collaborator. You know,
yes, if you have the foreign producer and Polish director, or Polish producer and foreign director, then it's of course acceptable. If you have the story going on in Poland and you have part of Polish crew, then it's generally it's for projects connected to Poland in the, you know, with strong bonds with Poland, but not necessarily 100% Polish.
So that's where the Malhar community has a chance. That if you're from Poland, of course that's you already would know about Doc Club. There's no way that you don't. But for people outside, if you have a topic for which you can find a Polish collaborator, it could still be a topic that, you know, Doc Lab or other promoters in Poland might be able to push it forward or structure it or help to engage with. It's not a no. That's great to know.
I can see the question and a website where we can pitch our stories. Well, I believe, because I read it in the chat, right? This question. I believe in personal meetings. Of course, the COVID changed this attitude very much, and we learned how to deal with online pitchings and online meetings. But I believe very much in meetings, in just meeting people in reality. because it's not always the presenting your project and making the deal, but it's about, kind of cooperation or some advices, and that works the best in person. But of course, there are websites, and I think that different festivals have their own pitching platforms. I know about Polish platform which is called Pitch the Dog, and this is the pitching platform, and I'm sure that there are others like this in other countries, but I'm not cooperating with them.
Sure.
Oh yeah, Pitch the Dog.
Yeah. I just typed it for
Yeah.
clarity. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. Great. So I guess there are no new questions. So it's a lot of information to process. I'm sure all of us want to process this, but it's beautifully been covered about pitching, which was the main agenda. And hearing it from Adam, I guess we can't have it any better. The person who hears so many pitches and is at the receiving end, it's the same stuff. It's not a new thing. It's not that we've never heard that, okay, this is the pitch, but it's all about how efficient can we be in our pitches. So what Adam said, bring out the protagonist. Most important thing that I take from what you said, Adam, was that it totally depends on how we are able to communicate that I am the right person to tell the story. It might be the very good story to tell, but the person is going to bet upon me as a creator, and hence that needs to be a very prominent point to say that why am I rightly positioned, or am I the right person to make the story. So that's a lot of times storytellers really undermine themselves, like really just like, I want to tell that story. Now that may not really interest somebody, that okay, you want to tell the story, and it's like, yeah, fine, you want to tell the story, go and do it at your end, why have you come to me? And that's where I think what Adam, you said, the difference between selling and telling comes in, that we need to sell it to them because they need to sell it to somebody, and hence it needs to, as a team, as a story, it needs to very clearly look out that it's a sellable idea, and we need to take that very clearly rather than just the passion part of it.
Yeah, what I may add is just be you have to be open. If you don't know something, then don't be afraid to say that you don't know it. Simply, if someone asks you a question about your protagonist or about kind of plot or anything, and you really don't know it, just say thank you. Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't think about it. So, but don't be afraid, because generally people are nice and good, and they are not asking questions to catch you or to prove you wrong,
Right.
but they are asking about different things because they would like to know it, but it's not to, there are no people that know everything, so don't be afraid of this. And on the other hand, during your talks after the pitching, ask for their advice. Ask what they think about it, because people like to share their opinions. They like to be asked and to be treated like experts. So it's good to ask people for advice. And that it touches the thing that I believe very, very much in these meetings, not only because they may bring some support, some real support like money or a deal or the selection for the festival, but you meet people and they may help you get further. So if they are not the right partner to co-produce your project in their country, they may tell you something about some other people, etc. So it's slowly building, this network of contacts They may tell you something that you are not aware of when you are making a film in their country, and you have all all thought up, all made up in your head, but they can tell you something new for you. So be open for this. That's
Feedback
also
and
the
advice.
advice that I can give. And I have the impression that it was a bit chaotic, because I wanted to say too many things in too short time. But anyway, I hope that it helps someone to work
Let
on
me
it.
do a weather check on it. Was it chaotic, guys? I
But
don't
they are
want
nice.
I don't
They are
want
nice.
Adam to go back thinking of something that didn't happen. So if it was chaotic, say it. If it was not chaotic, say it. Chats. Was it chaotic? Was it clear? A very good session. And
Thank
please, you
you.
don't have to say that for that. I mean, really, but if you say that, we mean it. Okay. Uh there are no white lies. Clear as the sun. Good. Clear.
Thank you.
You want to hear more, Adam?
Uh, I'm just looking at this. I have a pitch. How do I find a producer from Poland? This is the thing that I told you about the SEDOC market, the co-production market. So if you can apply, because it's called Central European Documentary Co-production Market, but we also invite people from all over the world. So this is the good place to be and to present your project to Polish producers, to find a co-producer answering this question.
Yeah. So Pasna, you could look up SEDOC and that's where your answer might be. Shemez is saying very informative. Great. So Adam, it wasn't at all chaotic.
Good to hear that.
It was absolutely a lot of years of experience and thinking that you tried to put it in such a short time for us. Revision, new facts and figures, a validation that an organization purely sits there for the last 8 years for non-fiction cinema, for documentaries. That's very, very motivating. As a documentary filmmaker, it often becomes very difficult to just continue on the documentary path because the structures are not there. The what you do next is not there, but you are at least making that happen in Poland. So it's brilliant. I think some of us can take it up and build it in our own ways, small little communities, but it's possible. And Adam is approachable. Like he said, he's given his email, so whatever at some point he can support with, he will. Right, Adam? I said it.
Yes, of course, you have contacts to me, so feel free.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Adam. I've really stretched it beyond the time I asked you for it.
Time flies quickly. Nice company. So thank you very much for this
Thank
meeting.
you. It was very, very valuable for me. One second. Ramesh is saying, can you share about independent documentary shortly? Ramesh, do you want to unmute yourself and just give me the question very clearly? Because we have covered a lot of it. I think you came in later, but can you just unmute yourself and tell me the question?
Hi.
Hi, Ramesh.
Can you share about independent documentary? Because I am an independent filmmaker, so I need to direct the independently. So please share about independently documentary. How do that are you clearly what I'm saying that?
You are saying that you are an independent documentary filmmaker.
Yes.
So what do you want us to share about that?
Ma'am, I think how do I do that independently documentary? So just clearly that.
Okay,
Clearly
so I'll just repeat. This is exactly what the last 1.5 hour has been. But basically, as an independent person, of course, first you need to have a story that you want to tell. You need to research your story very well. You need to have your character, your protagonist, the main person, the character that the story is all about, that needs to be very, very clear in your head. Then you need to write your pitch. You need to write your script, either of it, and it can be simultaneous that you're writing, but you need to have your story structure in place. Once you have that, and if you're self funding it, great, then you can start going and collecting material, spend your money, do that. If you want funding right up front before you do any production as such, then you have to prepare a damn good pitch to raise money. Where to raise money, there is no answer to that. Totally depends on what your subject is, what your network is, which part of the world do you live in, what are the resources available there. Go and make a pitch. It can be anything from getting the money in the first pitch to the nth number of the pitch. But sure, once you have the money, which also includes the crowdfunding format of getting the money, but once you have the money, do your production. Once you have your film in place nicely, take it to the film market. So the markets are like, if you crowdfunded it, then your audience, the people who have invested in a film, are already your audience. But if it is institutional funding or a corporate funding or a festival funding, then you have to take it to the audience in their respective spaces, to market it further in the film festivals, send it out to as many film festivals as you can. Some are paid, some are not paid. So depending on your budget, you can go for it. The film festivals help you go further. Some of the film festivals help you get distribution. Some get you awards if you win, so to say. So either ways you choose depending on what you want. And if you have access into channels and production labs and things, go and pitch your idea. They might take it as it is, or they might take it for a development. So they might say that, okay, your idea is fine, we want to develop it in our own way, and you could. So that's exactly what's happening with Malhar, with our film festival. Our distributors, whoever they select eventually, they are going to offer these three things to them. Either they take the film as it is and pay the money which they will offer, and if you agree, then they take the film as it is, and then they take it to the market wherever they think is a market. Or they will ask you to do, they want to develop it, right? So in their development, again, they will pay you a certain fee, and you could be a part of the development process, or you may not be. That's to be decided between the distributor and you, depending on the strengths required, the time required, when it is required, and all of that. And the third part could be breaking down the film in a smaller parts, which means the person might only want the script, may not want the whole film, may not want to develop it right now, but might want to just buy off the script for that market. So that's because we are a distribution centric festival. That's what we are trying to arrange. So you have to look at what point your resources end and what point you need help, and hence reach out to more organizations. Adam, say
Thank you.
10 on 10.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great.
No, please, I'm just kidding. But
Yeah.
what else, Adam? I know I said it because you've been speaking for so long, but is there something that's missed out?
Well, I must say that almost all documentary filmmakers are independent documentary filmmakers, and the other ones that are not independent and they work for TV stations, for instance, they may not have this freedom to make, to work about the documentary on your documentary long enough to make it really what you want it to look like. So documentary market, especially in Poland and mostly in Europe, is quite independent. I may add to this.
Yeah, it's the same. Ramesh, where are you from? Which part of are you from India?
I am from India, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. So even the Indian market is for documentaries. It's only independent. There is really no institutions There's no way that you can be an institutional or a corporate documentary filmmaker. It's independent. So basically just saying that it's the same for everybody. The same structure follows. Did your question get answered, Ramesh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. And if you have more questions at any point of time, you can always write into the festival ID. And if we can find a better answer for you, we will. All right. Sarah, I think your question was also, it's the same answer that Upasana had asked. If you have a project, how can you find producer? Right? I mean, if you're asking from Poland, then what Adam said, that it is the,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
the,
yeah. So, I didn't hear your voice.
no, say that again. Your voice
Sorry.
got cut. So, yeah.
Please. I didn't hear. Now, please talking.
Okay. Was your question that you want to find producers in Poland, or is it a generic question?
No, it's in Poland, not bad. But I wanted to ask about how can I find the producer for other country. My last project is about the Iranian historical, about the oil and gas, Iran history, oil and gas, my last project documentary. But the next project is about the women, Iranian women who start in cinema and theater. What I wanted to find, and I have a proposal about my project, and I wanted to send to some office or producer to find the fund. I don't know how.
Anything that you can add to that, Adam? She generally wants to know how can she find.
Well, I deal mostly with the Polish market, so I know how to find producers in Poland, but it's not relevant. It's not, it's not. I think I cannot answer to you to your question. With this, I'm afraid I can't help you. If you are a Polish director, then I would direct you to to the Association of Polish producers, but that's different story.
Sarah, it's usually, I mean, it's a subject driven thing that somebody has to believe in that story. It could be an individual who will produce it, a friend or family. It could be an institution. So you again have to look at, to whom will this subject matter, right? If it is only about the money, then it could be literally anybody who gets sold on the story and really wants to make sure that that story is told. Then it says that. But if as a producer you're looking for more than the money, or not the money, another thing, which could be a distribution channel, a marketing and PR, you're looking at other support from them, then it will have to be, you'll have to research on who has those resources, who has the services, again, I mean, of course, starting with Google, getting some first level of information could be a good starting point. If you say film producers in the US, film producers in Iran, in Africa, do that. Get some email IDs, write to them, see what they say. Little open-ended, Sarah. Okay, Angad is saying these channels like National Geographic or Discovery also work on the same pitching pattern, or another way to approach them. I think that's the way. Adam, do you know anything about it?
Well, let me look at this again. National Geographic and Discovery. Well, I know mostly docu-series going on there. There are different kinds of documentaries. Of course, there are Discovery is a big company, so it is also present at pitchings as well. So the answer is yes, but they also have their own ways of cooperating. So well, in Poland you can just approach them directly, and but we also invite representatives of different televisions to our pitchings. So the answer is yes and no. I mean, yes, of course, they look for, they need more and more films and topics. So I think they go to different presentations, but they also have their own ways of doing this.
Finding. Yeah. Angad, if you're asking about India, what I know is that there are three ways. One is they commission a project. So you pitch them before making the film at a concept stage. So with a pitching and a treatment note, with probably a trailer which establishes your protagonist and the subject. And then if they like that story, then they commission you a certain amount. You take that fund and you make that film, and then the film belongs to Discovery and Nat Geo. The other way is like acquisition, wherein you make it on your own time and money, and then you send it to their acquisition department, and if they like it, then they acquire the film. That's two. And the third is, of course, like you find somebody from these offices and pitch it to them, and they lead you to that. I mean, having worked with them in India, this is how it used to be a few years back. But like Adam said, they're all looking for content. So it's like, don't be shy about approaching. But like what we learned in the last two sessions today, all about legalities, protect your work. If you have a topic, you want to go all out, but protect it. Do your copywriting, do your protection, because they're all giants. They're all big fishes in the market. All right.
But they need us.
They need us, absolutely. They need the storytellers. They need the stories. They have their own teams to do it, but still they take so much work from the independent. They can't just have everybody just in their teams only making the story. So yeah, protect your work and then go full out. Pitch it, left, right, center. Great, Adam. Thank you so much. Very, very grateful that you took out so much of your
Cheers.
time. Cheers.
That's water.
Yeah, I know. Same way.
Although
Cheers.
I'm Polish, I should be drinking vodka all the time. This time it's only water.
Well, it's white. It could be anything, but if you say so. All right. Adam, thank you very much. Really, really means a lot. So much of information. If anybody needs anything further, they'll reach out to you, and please see whatever best you can do for the Mulhar community.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I cross fingers for all your projects. Thank you.
You are a part of it. You are a part of Mulhar. We're not going anywhere.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much.
Everybody's saying thank you to you. So with that, all right. Good night, people. Just for
Thank you.
tomorrow. Tomorrow is light. We have only one session. And the idea is because we are only one day away from the closing of the festival. So tomorrow's session is about film school to film market. There are a lot of professors coming in, and there are OTT network coming in. So we're going to talk about the learning to the market part with them. But the reason that there is only one session tomorrow is because tomorrow you all need to go play full out to make sure that you've done everything that can potentially go in favor of your film winning. So all the challenges, all the contests, everything that's been happening, if you haven't found time for it, please do that tomorrow, which is why intentionally it's kept light. The final list will start getting made the next day morning, and we will not have anything new to add on. Okay? So please, I mean, it's coming to the closure. Work on your film, make some noise, shout, let the world know what the story you have to tell. Make sure that the distributors at Malhar notice you and your film, and this time doesn't get wasted. So use all of it today, tomorrow. There might be something that might get, the team might get crazy and might throw in some extra points again between today, tomorrow. I don't know. But grab it and prepare yourself, and then we'll get to the next level of Malhar on the last day, which is just day after. All right. Still, if any questions, everybody who's been joining Malhar later, you don't know what's an NFT pass, you don't know what's the benefit of winning at Malhar, you don't know what are the pearls, what are the contests that have happened, what are these point systems, talk to us. Write to us, happy to support, but you've got 1.5 days to play full on. All right, with that, thank you so much. Good night. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Adam. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.